All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back with another post-fight analysis video, post-fight discussion video, whatever you want to call it. Errol Spence Jr., he gets it done. Gets his first stoppage in almost 3 years over Yordenis Ugas for that WBA belt. And it was just pretty much like I said, guys, Errol Spence Jr., like I said, before I really get into it, this guy, he gets stronger in every round. Like, he does the opposite of what some of these fighters do, where they just start to like gas out and they go down. Errol Spence is the type that kind of builds up steam. He builds up steam after a few feeling out rounds and adjustments. He gets stronger and stronger down the stretch. So I said, look, if Yordenis Ugas, he stays in the pocket, he's going to have a little bit of success with his timing, but he just lacks that level up and he just lacks that power to really get Errol Spence's respect. So Errol Spence, he's going to stay right there in the pocket against this huge target that he can't miss and just slowly chip away at him. And that's what happened. That's what happens. So there's really no excuses on Ugas' side. There's no excuse anywhere. Nobody can make up anything about how this fight went down. Errol Spence Jr. is the truth. He came back stronger than ever and said, look, I want to get a stoppage. And that's how he fought. He fought to get a stoppage win, man. Errol Spence Jr., man, one of the bigger, stronger welterweights out there, bigger, stronger boxers out there in general. Some people just kind of look at his strength, they look at his power, but they don't understand, the guys in there using his IQ. Like, if you look at how he's throwing these punches, he's being very selective. Like, anything he throws, there's a point to it. He's not very wasteful. Like, everything he's throwing, even if it's on the guard, it's going to lead to a bigger shot. And that's what Errol Spence did, from the jump in this fight. I mean, going back to the first round, really, Yordenis Ugas, this was probably the one round next to round 6, maybe round 6, the one round I could give him because I like the jab that he established in the first round, feeling out round. But Yordenis Ugas, he was pumping a good jab to the body. He was landing that jab to the body early, but, Errol was just kind of testing him out. Errol was still coming back with a few shots of his own, trying to test the guard of Ugas, test the body, and just get a reaction out of him. Then, all of a sudden down the stretch, rounds 2 and 3, you see Ugas landing a few of those like right uppercuts and those wild right hands, but Errol all the while is just like landing an accumulation of punches. You know what I mean? He's throwing combinations. He's really pumping that jab out on the guard and splitting the guard of Ugas and always going around the guard as well. So, he's splitting the guard, he's going around it, just slowly chipping away at Yordenis Ugas. And that's what a lot of people are missing out on. They think Spence is just punching her. He's just like this hard puncher that just keeps hitting the guard. But no, he's like doing some nice tactical work here, just really, really breaking Ugas down. And the one punch I just kept seeing land throughout this fight that I was enjoying was that right hook to the body. Every time that Ugas would, try to shell up Errol Spence Jr., he would pump that jab out, go right to the body with left uppercut. With the right hook to the body, then come back with the left uppercut or that left hand upstairs. And that left hand upstairs, sometimes it would graze, but a lot of the times it was really cracking. It was crack around the guard, and that's what really started to put the damage on Ugas' eye, like round 5 and 6. Now, when we got down to round 6, there was that point where when they were in the pocket and Ugas lands the right hand and the mouthpiece comes out of Errol Spence. So Errol's mind kind of, goes to the mouthpiece. And like he said in the post-fight, or, in the ring, whenever Jim Gray asked him about it, was he stung or whatever, he was like, no, the referee had said stop punching. So he stops punching, but Ugas continues to punch those like 4 punches, and boom, that right hand lands and kind of rattles him and sends him back. So that would rattle anybody. And, I'm not just taking up for Spence here, but I'm just being honest. Like, the referee said stop punching, like he said, so he stops punching, and Ugas continues. So, of course, that's going to rattle him and knock him back, right? So, to me, that wasn't really enough to give the Ugas, because by the next minute of the round, Spence came right back with combinations, and real damaging combinations, punching around the guard again, right hooks to the body, double jabs upstairs, just backing him up, backing Ugas up. And going down the stretch, Errol Spence Jr. just really started to settle in, just really, really started to put those punches together, and really started to break Ugas down and hit him with everything he could hit him with. You know what I mean? Just really breaking him down, and the eye was really starting to swell. Ugas is punching. His volume went down. His punching volume went down. Ugas really wanted to look for a big shot by the end of towards the the stoppage of this fight. I'd say like round 7, 8, 9. He was really just trying to wing that wild right hook, wild right uppercut to the body. But Spence was still on his game. That's why I got to give Spence a lot of credit. Like I said, like Spence doesn't get weak down the stretch. He gets smarter and stronger because he's still going back to the jab. Never loses his punching power. Whenever he goes digs to the body, boom, boom, boom. He hits you with a couple of jabs to back you up to fine range. And like I was saying earlier too, when I was doing my live round by round, he never drops his hands. Still smart with it. Like he didn't get cocky in there. Ugas was the one dropping his hands even after getting touched up and beat up in there. You know what I mean? So I was really impressed with that. I was just impressed with the steam that Spence had. It was like you don't really see this type of work in many fighters. Terrence Crawford in his own way is a very highly gifted, skilled fighter, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But, the way Errol Spence commits to keeping his hands up and always going back to his jab, that's what's going to help him, throughout the stretch in any fight. He never lose that steam. I mean, only time when you really see him fight, I'd say the dog fight that he wanted to give the crowd to was like Sean Porter. But other than that, when he boxes, he's a very, very underrated boxer out there. A lot of people underestimate him with his skills. But he was breaking Ugas down in this fight. I mean, round after round. Like, if you listen to my round by round, I'm not just calling Spence's punches. Ugas wasn't throwing anything down the stretch. Like 8 and 9, I mean, you didn't see anything really coming from Ugas except that wild right hand looking for a big shot. So Spence digging. Sometimes he would just dig for a whole minute to the body, right, left, then pump with the jab upstairs and just keep breaking him down. And, the referee, they kept stopping it, looking at the eye a couple times, then down the stretch in the round 10, more brutal body punches and just hard left hands upstairs to that eye of Ugas till finally, the referee, they stepped in, took a look at the eye, doctor took a look, and they stopped it. And that was it. You know what I mean? So shout out to Ugas for showing the heart and the durability, to go in there and, and stay in the pocket with Ugas. And that's another thing I liked about this fight. There wasn't a lot of hugging, holding in this fight. And there wasn't a lot of, running in this fight. Of course, good balance, everything is fine. But I like the fact that these two guys fought in the center of the ring, mid-range, sometimes at a distance, but they were just boxing each other. You know what I mean? They were just boxing. And then when Spence turned it up, he was dogging in there. He was inside fighting, and he was landing some beautiful punches. There wasn't a lot of work the referee had to do to break these two up. It was always just clean exchanges or just, clean boxing, especially on Errol's side. But, Ugas showed he had heart and a little bit of resilience in there. But it's like I said, man, his trainer, they said, okay, we're going to target the eye in this fight of Errol Spence. They think he's not 100%. They think he's done. Same thing Manny Pacquiao's team said, but Errol proved them all wrong. What did he do? Y'all want to focus on his eye? He focused on your man's eye. He focused on your man's eye, and y'all saw what happened. Word is Ugas' orbital bone is broken. I'm going to have to check in that myself some more, but yeah, that's the word, that Ugas' orbital bone is broken. So that lets you know what Errol Spence is working with, right? So Errol Spence, man, after this fight, after he was holding all three of them belts, he made it clear to Jim Gray and everybody else who he wants next is Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, his fights he wants, he going to go over to Terrence Crawford and get his ish too. That's what he said. He going to take his ish too. That's what we all want to hear. That's what we knew what was coming. So you never really heard Errol Spence say otherwise. I mean, even from the jump, like people forgot 2-3 years ago, Errol said he was on a mission to get all the belts over here. And then he said, I get Manny or whoever, I'm going to fight Terrence Crawford next. After a while, it just kind of died down because the talk was getting stale. But he's never said he never wanted Terrence Crawford. He's never ducked that fight. Like, for a while, he was calling him out. Then when the talk just got stale with Terrence Crawford still staying with Bob Arum, he was just like, why talk about it? Why not just face the fighters that are in front of you, right? That's what Errol Spence always does. Now that that's cleaned up, now that this side is cleaned up, he's calling Terrence out because that's all that matters. So there's no plan on his side for sure, right? Terrence said he wants to fight now as well. He said a real fight begins. So, okay, let's get it done. Let's see what he's doing. Let's see what he's working with. But we know on Errol's side, he's did everything he's needed to do. Beat champion after champion, legit champions for his belts. How do I see the fight going? I mean, early look, it's 50-50. Nothing in this fight made me say, oh, Terrence Crawford is going to have an easy night with Ugas. I mean, anybody saying that is just a fanboy or crazy. I mean, everything Errol did in here is what's going to counter Crawford, and whatever Crawford does kind of counters what Errol does. That's why we want to see this fight. So I'm just going to call it down the middle and say it's 50-50 right now because they're the best of the best. But the one thing I can say about Errol is he's a little bit more proven with the grittiness. Like, he's been in more dog fights, and we know that his toughness has been shown, and he's been in the trenches more. I say with Terrence, we seen him school guys more, and we seen the more of a technical side and technician side, the wizardry of Terrence Crawford more. We seen that side more of him, but what we seen in Spence, we seen him tactically break guys down more, right? We seen him have to fight in the trenches, like with Sean Porter, or hard punchers like with Kell Brook and Danny Garcia. We actually had to see him dig deep with those type of fighters, kind of like Lennox Lewis style a little bit, right? So putting all that together in a fight with these two type of guys and how much they want it, it's really 50-50. So I can't say, oh, Terrence Crawford's going to watch this version of Errol Spence, or, oh, well, he did Ugas, he can't do that to Terrence. Of course he can't do that to Terrence because they're two different fighters. Right? It's going to be a different approach. It's going to be a different game. So what Errol did to Ugas, that's different. This is a big, strong guy that doesn't really have the greatest defense. He could just slowly chip away at him, and that's what he did, right? It's going to be a different type of fight with Terrence Crawford. So, yeah, man, shout out to Errol. Shout out to Ugas, putting on a spirited performance. But shout out to Errol Spence, for collecting all 3 belts, WBC, IBF, WBA, and, doing all the hard work over here with the welterweight division. And, calling out the real now, right? So, guys, let me know in the comment section what y'all think. I enjoyed the fight. It was a good fight. No excuses on, any side there. We saw Errol Spence come back with, hard work and discipline. He didn't miss a beat, and he's back on track to, getting those knockouts again with that brutal body attack. So let me know, guys, what y'all think early on about this Crawford fight. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.